Good morning. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning. How did everybody's Monday go? Hopefully everybody's Monday had a good day on Monday. It is officially Tuesday morning. We are doing a Christmas party at work, so I'm excited about that. We're going to have some fun today. We are going to be creating some templates in the hoop. So we're doing like edge-to-edge quilting in the hoop. And I'm going to show y'all how to create those templates in the hoops so that you can do the quilting. So good morning, Jennifer. Good morning. Good morning, Jules. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Glenda. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Happy Tuesday. How we doing? How are we doing? I'm excited. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Carrie. Good morning. I always like all the fellow Carries. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday to you. How's your morning going? Staying warm at -9. Jennifer over here on YT is at -9, y'all. That is cold. That is cold. That's a little chilly. So we're going to let a few people join. I'm currently making some mug rugs. So we're doing a Christmas party. So I'm doing mug rugs. I had all my employees. I'm like, I need some IT acronyms. So needless to say, they sent me all kind of IT acronyms and I made a fun mug rug. How fun is that? Good morning, Cynthia. Good morning. So that is what I'm working on. We had some fun yesterday. We made fun zipper bags. We made these fun zipper bags. I'm in love with this one. She is hilarious, y'all. She is hilarious. Good morning, Sheila. How are you? Good morning. So these are what we made yesterday. We had some fun with those yesterday. Like I said, today we're gonna learn how to quilt in the hoop. I'm gonna show y'all. Hey, Kim. Where I'm going to show y'all how exactly to create a template in that hoop. So I have the, thank you. You watched your live for 2. Nice. Very good. Thank you. Appreciate that. So I have the joy of having a luminaire, which has a projector on it, and I don't need a template, but yeah, the live got reposted yesterday. Sheila, check these out. We did these yesterday. These are what we did yesterday. How fun is that? Isn't that fun? Fun little zipper bags. So, right? Isn't that cute? And they're fully lined. This one's got like batting in it, extra stuffing in it. Stuffing. I'm going to call it stuffing. Why not, right? And then this one is just lined. Kind of cool. And then I put a handle on this one. I put a handle on that one. So anyways, so today we're going to be doing embroidery, edge-to-edge quilting in the hoop. But we're going to let a few people join because the request today was to use my Topaz 50. So I have a Topaz 50 embroidery machine on the Topaz. Yes, on the Topaz. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show y'all how to create those templates because the Topaz does not have the projector. Good morning, Maddie. The Topaz does not have that projector on there. So needless to say, we got to create a template for it. What that template does is it allows you, it kind of works like the Kimberbell blue tiles, kind of works the same way. But what you do is you create that template and then actually you lay that on your piece of fabric. Good morning, Kulistad. You lay that on your piece of fabric and then you actually hoop it with that there. That way you know exactly where that's going to stitch. So I'm going to show you how to create that template. You're going to mark that template. That way you know where the top is, the bottom is, and where your center marks are on all sides of that. So good morning, Irie. Good morning, Barb. Good morning, everybody. I'm excited, y'all. It is Tuesday morning, y'all. Good morning. Thank you for the heart me. I appreciate that. Everybody have a good Monday. How was everybody's Monday? Mine was good. I actually took the day off. I actually did sewing all day, y'all. And I did. And by request from y'all, I did a video on step-by-step on doing binding. So, because I had a request for y'all. These are mouse pads. These are huge mouse pads. So, but what I did is I took and I did binding. I showed y'all step-by-step on how to do that binding. Awesome, Kim. Awesome. Hopefully it helped. So, y'all, binding is fun. And quilting in the hoop. Look at this quilting. Look at the quilting on this. Y'all, this was done. Good morning, Prinny. This was done in the hoop, y'all. So isn't that a big mouse pad? So I did this mouse pad. Check this one out. So I have another one that I did too. That, yeah, when he said mouse pad, and I'm thinking mouse pad, small mouse pad, kind of like maybe this size of mouse pad. But no, he's like this one. So awesome. Glad to hear, Carrie. Glad to hear. So y'all, check the stitching out on this one. So, and y'all, these are all done in the hoop on the embroidery machine, So how fun is that? So another mouse pad. This is another mouse pad. So not exactly sure who this little dude is, but he's kind of cute. So what I did is I had two of those. So I put one this way, flipped it over, and put the other one this way. So, like I said, I have no idea who he is, but he's cute, and it turned out cool. I'm loving the stitching. Look how 3D that looks. Fun. And the reason I'm showing y'all these is quilting in the hoop. Thank you. Good morning. Quilting in the hoop. You have all kinds of possibilities. Doesn't matter if you have a little bitty 4x4 hoop, because you can take a little 4x4 hoop and quilt with that. If you're going to do like a king size quilt, you might as well get ready to be quilting for like a week, because this is the area you're going to be able to quilt in. So you're going to be moving, but it's a possibility. It is a possibility. You can literally quilt any size quilt. So, the smaller ones, the bigger ones, however you want to do it. So, okay. So getting ready. So let's create a template, y'all. Good morning, Gracie. Good morning. So let's go ahead and create that template, y'all. So we're going to use the Topaz 50. I'm going to use the 200 by 200 millimeter hoop on here. So, what do you need? So thank you. I appreciate that. So what you need is a stabilizer. Okay. Somebody made comment, and I wish I would have gotten one. But I didn't. Somebody made comment that dollar store, the clear shower curtains, that would actually work, y'all. The clear shower curtains would actually work. So just stitch it out on those clear shower curtains. Why not, right? And I thought about, I don't think it's big enough. Because this is what came off the back of, nope, not quite big enough. I was going to say, I thought about using that. Not quite big enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get let me grab the stabilizer. Hold on. What did I organize the other day? When I organized, I put, there it is. That is. I don't have a lot of it left, but that's all right. Where are you? It doesn't want to close. Why are you not closing? Oh, hello, you knucklehead. Okay. I was like, why is my thing not closing? Okay. So we're going to use, I think we might just have just enough, y'all. Just enough. So we're going to use a clear stabilizer. You can use whatever stabilizer you want. I wish I had a little kid here. They love these little things. They're like, clunk, clunk. They like to knock each other on the head with them. So, but they're kind of fun. You'd be like, hello. It is embroidery time. I know. I'm in a good mood today. Sorry, guys. Fun times. Okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to take this clear stabilizer. And like I said, you can use I wouldn't use tearaway. I would use because the tearaway is going to rip. You don't want it ripping. So you want something that's not going anywhere. Good morning from Ohio. Good morning, Marnie. Good morning. Good morning. So we're going to take this clear stabilizer. And this right here is why somebody said the clear shower curtain. Good morning, Karen. The clear shower curtain from Dollar. That actually phenomenal idea because you get it for like Solvy. Yes, Maddie. So yeah, this is it just dissolves away. It just dissolves away. But until you put it in water, you're good. So don't spray it. Don't spray it. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this way. Turn this way. So we're going to take, like I said, I have this hoop. I have the 200 by 200 hoop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and hoop this. I'm going to take and hoop this here. We're going to trim off the extra because I might need that. I might need that. So I'm going to hoop that. This is my last piece of this too. Trim this off here. I need to get a in the hoop design. So there we go. All right. So so 200. What's 200 by 200? I forget how big. I have like a hair. It's on my neck. It's driving me crazy. It's like I know I can feel it there. So this is, I can go 8. I need an 8-inch. Let's go 8. So we've hooped this, but before we do anything, the topper stabilizer. Oh, nice, Marnie. Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all, thanks for the heart. Mies, thanks for hanging out. Y'all are awesome. So y'all are awesome. So, all right. So y'all hear that? It's like really stiff. You want to make sure that it's really stiff because when you do the quilting in there, you want to make sure that it stays there. So I'm going to get the thumb drive and I'm going to turn her on. Husqvarna's take a little bit to boot. The Husqvarna's take a little bit to boot. So I'm going to grab the thumb drive and you're going to see me looking here because actually can I do it? I can probably do it over on the Mac. That way you guys can see. That way you guys can see. So I'm going to turn her on. It'll take a minute for her to boot. So I'm going to bring y'all over here. Thank you, Marnie. Thank you, Marnie. So we're going to come this way. I'm going to come over on this screen. So I'm going to move that down. I got a mess here going. I did so good. I've done really good. I've kept things going. So I've kept things going. So I'm going to grab. You hear her booting? She's like, I'm starting over here. Miss Topaz. Miss Topaz. Where'd my... There's my mouse. There's my mouse. We're just going to put you right there. So we're going to come over here. Can y'all see my screen? I have all kinds of embroidery designs on here. So I think what we're going to do... What do I have on here? It'll take me a minute to do Christmas images. I need some edge to edge. Where's some edge to edge? Edge to edge. I may have to go download one. I may have to go download one or grab. What you could do is grab a design off one of my other thumb drives here. I grab a design off one of my other thumb drives would be okay. See, this is how many designs I have, y'all. This is how many designs I have. So I'm going to grab, here it is. I'm going to grab the design here. Mirror the image. Sorry about that. Thank you. There you go. Is that better? Thank you. I always forget, y'all. Y'all got to remind me of these things. Y'all got to remind me of these things here. Okay, so pull that out of there. Put the other thumb drive in here. Grab the designs off this thumb drive. So we're gonna use a Kimberbell. So where's my designs? Did I not? What? Oh no. Those are all PDFs. Okay, we're going to have to go download a design. Hold on, guys. So we're going to go to, of course, my keyboard's not going to work. I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, of doing this on there. If I get dinged, I'm sorry, guys. Well, we're going to see. We're going and grabbing designs right quick, y'all. We're going and grabbing designs right quick. Send me a code, dear. Send me a code. Sent. Send me a code. Send me a code. May have to know where I could go. Let's go here. Keep trying to use that keyboard and it's not plugged up. Not plugged up. Hopefully I don't get dinged. We're going to try and grab a design before I get dinged. So, because I just need a quilting design. Quilting design, quilting design. There's one. Let's do hearts. Let's do hearts. Download. We need BP3. Okay. We're closing before I get in trouble. There. Okay. So downloads, downloads. On a Mac, you just double click it and you grab the downloads. So we're going to grab that. And we need the 8x8. We're taking the 8x8. Copy. Take that one out of there. I'm going to put this one in there. So we're going to grab that 8x8. Doom. Doom. We're going to do a Command Shift new quilting. We're going to go one quilting. That way it throws it at the top. Okay, there we go. Okay, we have the design. Okay, sorry about that. I should have grabbed the design prior to. But I didn't. So, you've seen that this is Juju. Realized how, what'd you say? I'm glad I'm not the only one that has to search for my design. Oh gosh, Margaret. Oh my gosh. Do you realize, I mean, it's crazy. I wish there was something that you could just put in there and be like, organize my designs. You know, y'all, there's got to be something out there. See, that's what I should do. I should create the software. It says, there you go, load this, and it will completely do that. It's on both, Cynthia. It's on both. It is on both. So, and it's on FB too. So F, yeah, that's right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go embroidery this design. Good morning, Gracie. Good morning. Good morning. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the Husqvarna. We're going to load this in there because, like I said, I don't think I've done a live with you guys on the Topaz 50. So what we're going to do is we're going to go stitch out this design. And you want to make sure that when you do stitch it out on your stabilizer, it's with a bright color. Don't do it with a neutral color because you want that color to pop whenever you put it on your fabric. That way you can exactly see where it's going on there. So let's go over there. We'll get it all hooped. We'll get it loaded. I'll show you how to load that design on there. It's a little bit different with this machine. You use red. Marnie is perfect color. Perfect color is red. So I got a hot pink over there. So we're going to use a hot pink. So I think that's what color. Anyways, it's a deep, dark pink. So, so we're going to go over there. Let's go ahead and get this loaded. So I'm going to unplug y'all from here. We'll plug back up when we come back over this way. We want to make sure that it does not go kaput on us. So I'm going to bring y'all this way. We're going on walkabout, y'all. Like I said, we're going to come over here because the Husqvarna is over here. Move the chair. Oops, I about tripped, y'all. I about tripped. Stay there. Stay there. Do not do that, please. No trip and carry. No trip and carry. Okay, so we're going to come this way. Okay, so, okay, here we go. Can y'all see that? Here, bring it down. Thank you, Renee. Thank you, Renee. Okay, so this is the Topaz 50, y'all. This is a Topaz 50. So I'm going to take the thumb drive, load the thumb drive in there because we've loaded that design on there. So I just turned it on, and of course, you don't want to have the hoop in there when you're when you turn it on. So it'll automatically tell you, say, please remove that hoop, because what it does when your embroidery machine boots, it adjusts it, or what do you call it? Not stabilizes. It does like a manual adjustment to make sure that your arm is good. So we're going to say okay, and it's going to, as you see, it goes and moves and make sure that all is good with that. So sometimes it makes noises, but that's okay. It is okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, and so you hit this top button up here, and you say, click on the folder. You say, I always say, I think I told y'all that story, but anyways, so we're going to click on the folder, and on the drop down, we're going to click that drop down. We're going to go to the USB device. Okay. In the USB device, I'm going to find the folder that I just created, and I called it One Quilting. On this one, you hold it. If you hold the design, calibrates. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was trying to think of the word. The word couldn't come to me. Thank you for that. It calibrates it. So sometimes, you're like, right? So, okay. So you hold that folder, and then it opens it up. Let me go through that again. I'm going to go through that again. So on here, you have this little, it's like an octagon up top. So you press that octagon, you come down here, you hit the folder, open that folder, and then on the drop down, you choose your USB, and then the folder you want, hold down on it, and it'll open up. And then on the file you're wanting, hold down on that file, and it opens up. And see, it pops in there. It pops in there. But then you want to make sure you go choose your hoop that you're using. So you see, Scotty can't see. You can't see if I turn, is that better? No, I don't know how to make it where you can see that. I'll try, maybe I'll do a video for you guys and do an up close on that. So anyways, so we got to choose the hoop. So I choose that hoop. We're going in a 200 by 200. Oops. We're going in a 200 by 200. Would you? We're going to go down. Where's my 200 by 200? Why? There you are. 200 by 200. Okay, so we've chosen the hoop. We've got the design, and we're going to click go. And now it tells you attach that hoop. So we're going to go ahead and get this hoop attached. And again, y'all, we're creating a template. We're creating a template on here. So drop the camera down. You're on my laptop camera. I got to fix my other camera. So I apologize there, Margaret. Okay, so we're going to load this in here. So now what we're going to do is we'll click OK. Okay, so now I'm going to load. And I left my stand. We're going to try it on this one. We're going to try it on this one. I don't like using these. I use a thread stand, but my thread stand is in use on my other machine. So we're gonna thread this. This one does not have that automatic threader on it. That's one thing I don't like about this machine. I love the way it stitches. I love the stitch quality it has on it, but it does not have the automatic threader on there. So it has that drop down thing that you grab and you kind of push it through the needle and it pulls it back. So it does not have an automatic threader, but it still works out okay. Still works out okay. Okay, So I am not going to move or the design anywhere in this hoop. So that is one thing you have to remember, okay? Wherever you hoop this in there, don't touch it. Don't touch it, because when you come back to this and you're wanting to use this design in here, you want it stitching exactly where it's at. Okay? Because when you create that template, you're going to come back and you're going to load the quilt in there and you're going to put that template on top, and you want to make sure that that's exactly where it's going to quilt. Okay. So, Pearl, good morning, Carrie and everyone. YouTube didn't send notifications out. I don't know why it's not sending notifications out, Pearl. I don't know why it's not sending notifications out. So anyways, okay. So like I said, I have a bright pink in here. We've got the clear stabilizer in here. So let's go ahead and stitch this out. Once we get this stitched out, we're going to go back. We don't want to unhoop it immediately because I want to show y'all how we're going to do that. So we're going to go ahead and hit start. Let this stitch out right quick. It shouldn't take too long to stitch out. It'll stitch out on here, and then, like I said, with the bright color, you'll be able to see it. What I chose an 8x8, so probably so, Cynthia. Thank y'all for joining this morning. Thank y'all for joining this morning. While this is stitching, I'm grabbing my cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Gosh, my coffee. And gosh, my coffee. You gotta have coffee, right? You gotta have coffee. But put this over here right quick. Grab some coffee. So that is almost finished. So as soon as that finished, like I said, we'll take it back to the table, but we're not going to completely unhoop it yet. We're not going to completely unhoop it because we want to do something to it before we unhoop this. So I'll show you. Do you always use the, I do not, Kim. So it's the one that I have out right now. So it on this machine, if I was to quilt on this machine, I would probably use this hoop. I would probably use this hoop because it's a bigger hoop. It's a nice size hoop, and you're able to do, like I said, this is an 8x8 square in here. So this one is an 8x8 square in there. So, okay, so that is done stitching. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it out of here. We're going to take it out of here. Don't take it out of the hoop yet, though. Don't take it out of the hoop. So I'm going to press that. And y'all, do you see the stitching on there? You see that stitching? Let's go back over here, and I'm going to show y'all what we're going to do with this. So we're turning, y'all. We are turning. Small spaces. Small spaces. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate y'all. I always appreciate y'all. You guys are nice. You guys are awesome. Okay, I got my coffee. I got my coffee. Coffee. Okay. So bring you over here, and I'm going to grab a marker, guys. I'm grabbing. Oh, I got markers over here. I forgot I had them over here. Okay. So we're doing pink. I'm going to go with pink. So I'm going to move y'all this way. Move you that way. I'm going to move that way a little bit. Okay. So we have this in here. Okay. We have this in here, and this is the bottom of the hoop, and this is the top of the hoop. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take that marker. Okay. You're going to want to take that marker. So thank you for watching. That is so awesome. That is the coolest thing that they have that thing. I've watched for 100 minutes. I've watched for 200 minutes. That's why she's showing you can do this. Yes, you can do this with any size of hoop. Literally any size of hoop. It doesn't matter which one it is. So you can do this with whichever one. So, and that's why I'm doing it on the Topaz 50, y'all. That's why I'm doing it on the Topaz 50, because Topaz does not have a projector or anything on that. So this allows you to be able to quilt in there. So, okay. So we've quilted the design on here. We've quilted the design on here. So now what we're going to do is you're going to take that marker and you're going to mark on the inside. You can also use the cheap. That's what I was just telling somebody. I think I'm going to go get one. I think I'm going to go get one because she's saying over here that you can use a shower curtain, y'all. So why not? What are they, like $1 at the dollar store? Yeah, it works great. So, and then you don't have to use your expensive wash away. So, or I guess it's Solvay. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to draw a line on the inside of here, y'all. So I've drawn a line all the way around. So I've drawn a line all the way around it. Okay. All the way around the outside edge, but don't stop there, y'all. On this hoop, on the hoop here, I'm going to show y'all. There is center marks. There's a center mark here. There's a center mark here. There's a center mark here and a center mark here. We want to mark those center marks. Okay. We want to make sure that we get those marked on there also, because you might need those. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to just put like a triangle right there where that center mark is, or it's like an arrow, I guess, to mark that center mark. Okay. So I've gone and marked. I've just put let me show you here. I put kind of like a arrow thing here on that. So now also what you want to do is up top, I'm going to write top and I'm going to write bottom. Reason I'm doing this is clear stabilizer. You don't realize which is the top and which is the bottom. So if you actually write top and bottom on there, then when you have it out of the hoop, you know exactly which way goes up on there for you. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to unhoop it. Now I'm going to unhoop it. So I'm going to take it out of the hoop. Take it out of the hoop here. So now I have it out of the hoops. So now what I want to do, I want to trim this. Okay. So we're going to take and I'm going to bring y'all back this way. So now that I have it out of the hoop and I have it all marked, I'm going to take a pair of scissors and I'm going to trim around this. And that way it's going to lay right in that hoop. It'll lay right in that hoop. So we're going to trim. So we'll get this all trimmed. Once we get this trimmed, we'll grab some fabric. We'll sandwich up some fabric, y'all. And we'll lay this in here and I'll show you how it works. I'll show you exactly how this works. We'll go back over there and we'll stitch something. We'll get something all stitched up. And you can use the clear stabilizer. You can use anything you want. I mean, you can use a piece of fabric, but I find that with the clear stabilizer or shower curtain, I'm going to have to get a shower curtain to do these classes for y'all. with the clear stabilizer, you're actually able to see through the stabilizer onto the fabric to see exactly where you're putting it. So, okay. So I've got that trimmed off. Got that all trimmed off. So now we have our template, y'all. Now we have the template. So with the template now, what we need to do is we need to sandwich some, let's sandwich some fabric. Let's sandwich some fabric. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. I bet I have a quilt square. Let's do a quilt square. I've got quilt squares over here that we have that are made. Let's see what we got over here. What do we want to put some hearts on? Let's put some hearts. We can put some hearts on this one. How about we put some hearts on this? And I want to center that. I want to center that. Let me measure that block. I'm going to measure that block. That is perfect. It's an 8-inch square. I want to center that on that 8-inch square. So let's hoop it so we get it all centered on there. That's the nice thing about this, because we will hoop it and we'll make sure, because I'm going to center it. I'm going to center it on that square. This was a perfect one. I'm going to center it on that square and get it hooped. And then that way that we make sure where it's stitching at. So, but we want to sandwich it. We need some batting in there too. So let's grab some batting. I got some 10-inch squares the other day. These are 10-inch squares. So I have to say thank you to Mole Queen for cutting 10-inch squares, because that worked out really well. Okay. Stay there. So we have a 10-inch square. 10-inch square. Because what we're going to do is we're just going to, because I think we're going to want to hoop it that way. We're going to want to hoop it that way. That way it hoops in there. We want to put a backing on here. This one's going to be hooped a little wonky, but that's okay, because we're just going to trim around it, because we're going to make a pot holder. We're going to make a pot holder with this one. I'm going to put that as a back. Put that one as a back. Hoop that there. Hoop that there. Okay, so now we have, and I need to turn y'all. Good morning, Abby. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so we have it sandwiched. So with it sandwiched, can you do this for all embroidery? Absolutely, Suzanne. Absolutely. You can do this for all embroidery machines, because no matter what size hoop you have, you can do that. Because like I said, you have your little 4x4 hoops, you have your bigger hoops, all of them work. So this right here makes it where you can quilt with any embroidery machine, no matter whether you have the 4x4 or all the way up to those big 16-inch hoops. So, okay. So now we have this sandwiched, okay? We have this piece sandwiched, and I want that 8-inch square centered. I want that design going on right there in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this template we just created. So we have this template that we just created. And the nice thing is I wrote the top on there and I wrote bottom, and I was about to put it on there backwards. So you have top on there and bottom. That way you know exactly where this is going to go. So I'm going to line this up in here. I'm going to line it up and make sure that I get it hooped exactly right there. So I want it hooped right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bottom. I'm going to scoot this under here. I'm going to scoot this under here. I'm hoping, and I don't think we need a bigger piece of backing fabric. We need a bigger piece of backing fabric here. A bigger piece. Let's see. What is that color? Ooh. Would that work? Might be able to use this. Might be able to use that. That would work. We're going to use that for a backing piece of fabric. You want to make sure you have a big enough piece on that backing. And I'm going to iron that right quick too. And I'm going to take a drink of coffee. Y'all, have your coffee this morning. Good morning, guys. Jennifer is driving to work this morning. Good morning, guys. Okay. So I'm letting my iron warm up right quick, because what we're going to do is I'm going to press this, and then we'll have this on the back. We'll have this on the back. A little press here. And when you're hooping your quilt job, you don't hoop stabilizer. There is no stabilizer to hoop. So you're not hooping that stabilizer. Press this. You over there. The nice thing is you'll be able to pull it out. So we have, there we go. So we have the stabilizer, or so we have the, well, that needs to go behind it, you knucklehead. So we're going to hoop there. So your back end of the hoop goes behind your quilt or whatever you're working on. It goes behind the quilt or whatever you're working on. So then you put the back piece of your fabric, and then we're going to put, this is where this is going to get hooped. So we want to make sure we're going to take that template. We're going to take that template there that we just created. Hey, Linda, how are you? So we're going to put this here. We're going to put, because we want that quilting centered. We want that quilting centered in there. So we want to make sure that when we hoop this, we're going to go hooping here. So we need to move up just a little bit. Move up just a little bit more. Okay, so it is literally hooped in there exactly where I want it, because I can see exactly where that stitching is. Hold on, and I'll show you here. So in here, you can see I have it. Let me turn y'all this way. I'm going to turn y'all this way here. That way we can see a little bit better here. See a little bit better. Okay, so you see where I have the template in here? I have that template, and you can see where that stitching's at. And I have it exactly centered where I want it. So you put it on your piece of fabric, and then you line it up in the hoop exactly where you want it. And that's what doing the template does. It works out really well. So isn't that cool? So now we're going to see how well it works, though. We're going to see how well it works. We're going to go back over to the embroidery machine and see how it stitches out and see if the template actually worked. So, and again, we are not going to move it. So I'm going to take that template off. We're not going to move it. That's locked in there. So, and you can see the backing is all good. The front is all good. So let's go stitch this, y'all. Let's go. I'm excited. Who's excited? Who's excited here, y'all? I'm trying to think. Do we want to do a different color, or we want to stay with the pink? We want a different color on there? I'm letting y'all choose. Thanks for joining, y'all. Good morning, Carrie. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Are we good with the pink, or we want a different color? Different color? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Do we want a different color on here? What color are you thinking for the quilting? Give me a color. Green. You want green? We can do green. Different. How about this one, guys? How about this one? What about white so it stands out? We could do white. We could do white. We like this one because this has got white in it too. Okay, we're going to go with this one. All right, let's go quilt this. Let's go quilt this. So I'm going to put you down there, put you there. Here we go, guys. We're going on walkabout again. We're going on walkabout again. Turning, turning, turning. Turning, turning, turning. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so, stay there. So I'm going to load, and it should be centered right in there. So we're going to load this in the hoop or in the machine. So we're going to get that loaded, and I still have that design loaded. I still have the design loaded in here. Okay. So now we're going to take this. We're going to take off the pink. Take off the pink. We're going to put you down there for a minute. We're going to load fun variegated thread, y'all. Fun variegated thread. Thread that. Like I said, this is my only drawback on this machine is that it doesn't have that threader on there. But, okay. So we're going to put that there. Okay. Are we ready? Let's see what this does. Let's see what this one does. I'm going to make sure that y'all can see there. I'm going to move you that way. Move you that way. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow. Okay. So we created that template and then we went and sandwiched a piece of fabric and then added that template on top and centered it around this square. Let's see what it does. Let's see if it actually stitches where it's supposed to. Let's see if it stitches where it's supposed to. I'm excited. I really like the hats. I did take the template out. Yes, you don't leave the template in there. The template's just for placing. That template is just for placing. Why do you need a template? So you need a template that way that way you can center it in here. You can, you have it, like say this was a bigger, like a baby quilt or something like that. You take and you run that first piece. Okay, you run that first stitching on there, and then you want to move to the next portion. So in order to move to the next portion of that quilt, you have that template. So you lay that template out on the quilt, you hoop it in the machine exactly with the template inside of that hoop, and you know exactly where it's going to line up there. And then that way your next stitching will line up exactly where the last one did. So that's where it's called edge to edge quilting. So you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Please ask all the questions, y'all. Ask all you'd like. So that is what I was going to ask. Can you do this after you piece the quilt? Absolutely. Absolutely. So it helps you visually see what it's going to sew out before you do it in case you don't like it too. Absolutely. Absolutely. It does. Because you can lay that out there. You can lay that on the quilt and you're like, I'm not sure I like that stitching on there. Let's look at another design and do another design on there. So that's the fun part of it. That is the fun part of it. And y'all, it is stitching out so pretty. I'm excited. Green was a good color. Green was a good color. I am excited. Y'all, this is going to be a cool hot pad. This is going to be a cool hot pad. Just not as fast as the one you did on Sunday. No. So this machine runs a little slower. This machine will run a little slower. The one on Sunday that I did, I have that projector in the machine, so I'm able to just move. I'm just able to move along with that magnetic hoop and stuff. But this is Topaz 50. Topaz 50. So with this one, I'm able to quilt with any embroidery machine, y'all. You're able to quilt with any embroidery machine. You take and you create that template inside of that hoop. And we can create another template. We can create another template too. That way y'all can see. So what we could do is we could take and create another template on one of the other machines. Y'all, I've got 3 machines that I can do this. What type of thread to use? I just use embroidery, the Floriani. I like Floriani. It's my favorite. Madeira, I haven't used, but I've heard that Madeira is awesome. So I'd like to try that one. So, but I like Floriani. So. And usually what I do for the quilting on the bottom, I usually use the same color of thread, whatever the backing is. Whatever your backing is, usually, but every once in a while, I'll use a different color. So like now, this has actually got white on the bottom. So the white is actually going to pop out on the back. But that's okay because this is going to be a pot holder. This is going to be a pot holder. So, oh my gosh, it is like perfectly set in here. It is perfectly set in here. It is literally centered right in that square. So it's perfect, guys. Y'all, templates work great. Templates work great. So I am excited. Once we get this all stitched out, we'll take it and unhoop it and take it over there. I'll get it all trimmed up and and that way y'all be able to see. I'll trim it because what I'll do is I'll go ahead and trim it because the stitching on the front is kind of blends in. But if I take and trim it, and flip it over, you'll be able to see that white stitching on the back. So that'll work out. So once we get this all stitched out, we'll go back over there and I'll show y'all. So, oh my gosh, I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited. I get excited over stitching. I get excited over stitching, y'all. I can't help myself. I cannot help myself. And y'all, this is fun, you know, make mug rugs, make hot pads, make placemats, you know, start small, start small. You don't have to start with a quilt, or start with a little wall hanging, or what do you call it? A baby quilt. So y'all, that is all stitched out. It is all stitched out. Check that out. Check that out. So let's go back over there. We'll take it out of the hoop. I'll get it trimmed around this square. That way y'all see that it actually stitched exactly where it was supposed to stitch. So table runner, absolutely. Table runners were great because, you know, you could do like an 8-inch square on a table runner and do like, I don't know, five edge to edge across, and take a blank piece of fabric. You don't actually have to make a, what do you call it? A quilt square or anything. You can just do a regular piece of fabric. Panels, y'all. Panels work really good too. So panels work really good. So we're coming over this way. Coming over there. Stay there. I have rugs on my floor. And did you choose the quilting design from no, Pearl, I did not. So that actually came from Juju. And they have some phenomenal designs, y'all. They have some phenomenal designs. There's so many different designers out there for embroidery. So check them out. And if you want some recommendations, I can send you some recommendations. Send me a message. I can send you some recommendations on some. So they work great. So, but this is a way that you can quilt with your embroidery machine, no matter whether you have like a 4x4 hoop or all the way up to those bigger hoops. So, and what we could do is, if you'd like, we can take and create a template on a 4x4 hoop in the Brother. So we can have some fun with that too. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to unhoop this. Y'all. I'm excited because this turned out really cool. So I'm going to take and grab doom. So I'm just going to cut these off here. And I'm just going to trim it right to the edge. So we can do, actually I'm going to go a little bit out. That way, because we're going to put a binding on here. We won't put a binding today, but. Okay. I'm going to keep those pieces because I'll be using those pieces. I'm leaving a 1/4 inch on the outside because we're going to be putting a binding on that. So. This is cute. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I have a Christmas party next week and I needed Christmas gifts. This might be one of those Christmas gifts, y'all. This might be one of the Christmas gifts that's going in the thing. Because, okay. So here we go, guys. Here we go. Good morning, Nikki. Walking tomorrow, Nikki. Walking tomorrow. Sorry. Okay. So, okay, you really can't see the quilting on this side, but y'all, it's centered. Do you see how it's centered on there? It literally stitched exactly where we wanted it to quilt. It stitched exactly where we wanted it to quilt. Y'all, how cool is that? How cool is that? Templates work phenomenal. Right? Y'all, quilting in the hoop. Make yourself pot holders. Make yourself mug rugs. Make yourself, I have a training in the Valley tomorrow. So, okay, that's fine, Nikki. That's fine. You can make placemats. You can do all this stuff. Jennifer's saying, I can't imagine doing a whole quilt on a 4x4. It'd be like crazy amount of hoop. And I guess it'd be, yeah, absolutely. It is. The 4x4 would take you forever to do a quilt. But with your 4x4, if you only have a 4x4 hoop, there's no reason you can't do this. Make yourself pot holders. Make yourself mug rugs. So nope, training is okay. Thank you, Carrie. All right. Nikki, I'll get with you. We'll figure out when we're walking sometime. We'll walk sometime. So, anyways, do we want to create another template? Because y'all, this is awesome. Good morning. How are you? How's Sean this morning? So you took the solvy off before. So yeah, so Maddie, so what you do is you use this because I wanted to get it centered in here. So what I did is I put it in here and then I took and hooped it. Okay, yeah, we can do another one. And I hooped it in there. Once I got it all hooped and centered and I knew exactly where it was going to be, you take that off and then you take it over to the embroidery machine and you run that embroidery machine. And then you get your stitching exactly where your template's set. Exactly where you got that template set. Thank you, Miss Carrie. I appreciate that. How can you tell what format your machine is using? So the Husqvarnas use VP3. The brothers use a PES. What kind of machine do you have? You're very welcome. Yeah, we'll do another one here. Doing good. Been watching. Oh, okay. We got chats going on over here. How are the squares put together after you have quilted? So there's a couple ways that you can do that. There's a couple brother PES. If you have a brother, you have PES. So Papa Echo Sierra. That's what the ones for the brother are. So to put these together, so what you would do, you have a couple of options on putting these together. So you could actually take and line two up together. I don't know if I have another one. We're going to say this is a quilt square. So you could line two up together, and then you can take and put a piece of, thank you. Thank you very much. You could line two up together and you could take and stitch them down. And then you could take and put a piece of strip down that way. Or what you could do is take and put them you'd put wrong sides together because you'd want it on the front. So you'd put wrong sides together, fold it, and we can do this one day. Fold it open like this, and then you would take and put a piece of strip down the middle that way. So you would sew the strip onto one side. Actually, you would sew the strip when you sew them together, open it up, and then fold that strip over to the other side and then stitch down the top of both of them. So I don't really like that method. I like to sew the strips together first, or sew the squares together first. So, but you can totally do it that way. We'll have to do that one day. We will do that one day. We'll add it to the schedule. How about we add that to the schedule one day? So we'll add that one to the schedule and we'll do that. Okay. So, if in doubt, you can Google what type of files does. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. Okay. So let's do it on the brother. We'll do it on the brother. So this one is in that I have something going on this one right now. So we're going to go over to the Quattro and we'll do it on that one. So, we should be able to do a 4x4 hoop on there. So, do you guys want to see a 4x4 hoop? We can do a 4x4 hoop. Can I ask what embroidery software you use? So, I use the Floriani software. And I also use Embrilliance is good. There's a few different out there. Good morning, Alicia. Good morning. There's a few different ones out there. So thanks for the follow. Okay. So we've done that one. Let me grab, we're going to do the 4x4 hoop, y'all. We're going to do this one. So Alicia, I have a Quattro 2 and a Luminaire 2. I've got two different ones. So do you have a brother? Are you asking Coolest Dad which brother he has? Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is, first thing first, is this going to be big enough? Yay. It's going to be big enough. You use hatch. You know, I had considered hatch, but I have yet to do that one. You have an SC700. Very cool. Very cool. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to hoop some clear stabilizer in here. And again, why you use that clear stabilizer? That way, when you load this in your hoop and on top of the fabric, you're able to see right through the stabilizer. So we're going to go ahead and hoop this 4x4 hoop. We're going 4x4, y'all. We're going 4x4. So I'm going to hoop this in here right quick. I'm going to go download that design again 4. So we have that hooped in here. We have that hooped. I'm going to download that design again for the brother because I downloaded it for the, give me my, for the, what you call it? Doom. What is downloads? I'm just going to download it for the brother right quick. So it is water soluble. Yes, it is water soluble. So the water soluble is the ones that we're going to do. Download PES. Okay, so we're going to download PES. Come here. So this is a 4x4 hoop. And I'm going to copy that. Where'd my thumb drive go? There's my thumb drive. Okay, so I'm going to load this into there. Get back here. I have too many things going here at one time. Copy. So if you want to see what I'm doing, I'm just loading designs here, y'all. Loading designs. Sometimes it goes. I need a new dongle. I need a new hub for my. Thank you. Thank you. We're just going to put it in that folder. We're going to throw it in that folder. Paste item. Come on. I know you can do it. Thank you. Okay. So now we'll go over here and I'm going to move y'all this way. I'm going to check the power. Okay. So we're going to use this machine here. We're going to use this machine here. So I'm going to put that there. Take that out of there. Come over here and I'm going to put this in here. Close, return, close. Move y'all over just a little bit so you can see. I'll move you back. So return, close. I know it needs a bigger machine. I want you to delete that one. Okay. If you, it'll tell you if you have a design in there and you load a hoop, it'll tell you, sorry, you need a bigger hoop. Sorry, you need a bigger hoop. So, okay, on this machine, so you have, I'm going to see if I can get y'all closer here. See if I can get y'all closer here, a little bit closer. And I've gone too far on that one, too far on that one. Okay, so on this machine, you have a USB. So I'm going to click on that USB, and I've put them in my mug rug folder. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab that design. And you can see it's a little bit smaller because you got a small hoop. We have a small hoop here. So we're going to click on sewing. And then we're going to click. Okay, so we are good to go there. So we already have, what color thread do I have loaded over there? That's a brown thread. I think that'll be okay. So I'm going to click that down. Click that down here. Come over this way. We're going to go ahead and stitch this out. So we're going to stitch it out on, is that, yeah, we're good. So once we get this all stitched out, we'll go back over to the table and we'll go ahead and do the same thing we did last time. So we'll add the markings on there, get all the markings on there, and then we'll sandwich another. I got more quilt squares. I got more quilt squares we can have done. So this one will be a mug rug. This one could be a mug rug. So you don't need a stabilizer when you're quilting. You do not need a stabilizer when you're quilting. When you sandwich your quilt, you don't put a stabilizer because then you would end up with a stabilizer on the back side of your quilt. So, okay. So we have done this. So what we're doing is we're creating a template. Anybody that's new that's joining right now, let me get by here. We're creating templates in the hoop. That way you can do edge to edge quilting. That way you can do edge to edge quilting on here and know exactly where you're placing it at. Know exactly where you're placing it at. Okay, so we're going to come back over this way. Come back over this way. Does your machine say it's blank or what does it say? When I'm stitching out this one, you bought it. Awesome. The magnetic hoops are game changers, y'all. Magnetic hoops are game changers. And you know what we could do is, how about we stitch, so is there a kind of stick that you use to have to use? So Mandy, so you have to, on your older machines, some of the older machines will only take so big of a USB. Some of your new ones, yeah, you really want to use smaller USBs. You want to use a small, because y'all, you can have a bunch of, thank you, that's very sweet of you. You can have a bunch of designs on there. Does the hoop need to be? No, it does not need to be square. It could be anything. It can be like here, I'll take this hoop off here. I have a design going on this one. So like this one right here, it's not square on this one. So it's whatever size of hoop your machine will do. Right now I'm suffering with both my embroidery machine and my main sewing machine are in the shop. Ah! Oh my gosh, I feel your pain, Deb. Oh my gosh, I did that last year. I went and dropped all 3 machines off last year and I'm like, and I'm sitting there going, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I got the 16 gig to work. Bigger did not get it for me. Yeah. You have to be careful on the size of your USB sticks because like I said, 2 gigs, 3 gig, 4. I mean, you really don't need more than that because your files are very small. The files on the embroidery are very small. I was told to try and not use any bigger than a 2 gig. Yeah, Baxter, you're right. You're right. You do not need anything very big. Bernita only uses 2 gig. Yeah, you don't. The designs are kilobytes. The designs are kilobytes. It doesn't take that much. And the nice thing is once you've embroidered it, you don't need it on there unless you want to keep it on there. You don't want to use your USB as storage. Make sure y'all don't use your USB as storage because USBs end up formatting or whatever, and then you lose everything on it. So then you'll lose all your designs that you have on there. So it's not the type, it's a size of storage. Yeah, you can use any kind of USB you want. Pretty much any USB will work. You just got to be careful on the size. You just got to be careful on the size because I have a whole container of different USBs. I don't know where they're at. Somewhere. Anyways, but yeah, I have a bunch of different kinds of USBs. A USB is a USB. So it's just how big that USB is. So, okay, so let's do this. So now we're going to take and I'm going to use black this time. So I'm going to grab, so we have stitched this out. We don't want to take it out yet though. We don't want to take it out because we're going to create that template. So what you're going to do is you're going to draw all the way around the edge. You're going to draw all the way around that edge. So I'm going to take my black marker and I'm going to draw all the way around this edge. That way you know exactly where to put it in the hoop. Okay, so we've drawn around the edge. But next thing we need to do is on your hoops, you have a center mark. So you have a center mark here, 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 and here. You want to mark those center marks there. You want to mark the center marks. So I just do like kind of like an arrow kind of triangle on each of those center marks. That way I know exactly where the center is on there. So you can see I put a center, like a little triangle kind of thing on there. That way you know exactly where the center is, okay? But next thing you do is you want to know what is the top and what is the bottom, okay? Because you've got clear stabilizer here. And with the clear stabilizer, you could flip it over to the back and not realize that you're on it backwards, and it's not going to stitch where you put it. It is not going to stitch exactly where you put it. So I'm going to write top, and I'm going to write bottom. So you have top and bottom on here now. Because if you look at the back, it'd be backwards. The words would be backwards. So you'd know that you have it on in your hoop backwards. So you don't want that. So you put top and bottom on the front side. That way you know exactly where it's at. So let's go ahead and unhoop this. I'm going to go ahead and unhoop this. So now that we have it unhooped, we need to trim around those. We need to trim around the edge. So we're going to go ahead and trim around the edge. Good morning, Tyler. Good morning. I'm excited to see you today. You drive safe, please, Tyler. So we're going to trim around this. Trim around this. Good morning. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Exciting. We're going to have fun today, Tyler. We're going to have fun. You want a sneak peek at what I made with all those terms that we were throwing around yesterday? Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I like the bear. The bear is cool. The bear is fun. He is fun. Right? It is totally a game changer for centering your design. So, all right. You ready for this, Tyler? Check this out. So I had fun with wordplay. So we're having a white elephant gift exchange today. So needless to say, I had to create some items. So I've got a couple of them going there, Tyler. I have a couple of them going. So what do you think? Fun. Okay, so we're going to trim around this here. Once we get trimmed around this, we're going to sandwich. We're going to have fun. We're going to sandwich. Good morning, Shannon. How are you? Thank you, Mandy. Thank you. We're going to get trimmed around this. And then thank you for the heart me. I'd be waving, but I got scissors in my hand. So scissors in my hand. So we're going to trim around this. And then I'll sandwich some fabric, and then we'll get it in the hoop. And what I'm going to do is we're going to actually move it 4 times. So I'm going to get something big enough. There we go. So you can see it in there. You see the design in there? So the design's in there. So let's go ahead and sandwich something. We'll get it sandwiched, and then we're going to try and hoop it 4 times. We're going to try and hoop this 4 times, and that way you can see exactly why you create these templates and how the templates work. So we're going to take, I need some more water soluble stabilizer. I'm done. I'm out of water soluble stabilizer. Okay. So I need, let's see. Tyler, did you see the thing I showed you? You hopped out. Let's see. What do I have? We're going to have some fun, y'all. We're going to have some fun. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this X block. I'm going to take it. We're going to put a design in the middle of it. I'm going to turn that up. We're going to put a design in the middle of it. We're going to sandwich that, and we're going to completely quilt this. Is that like Subway art? The mug rug? Stay there. It's word art. I think it's called word art, I think is what it's called. Go there. So we're going to flatten that out, and we're going to put a transfer in the middle of this because we're going to give this one a theme. I like the X block. The X block is a cool block. Word art. Yes, word art. That's what it is. Word art. So, do we want to do a Christmas theme on this? Because we could do a Christmas theme on this. I have a Santa. Let's look. So, do we want Santa on here? Because we could do, I always use myself as a board. So we have a Santa. Thank you. So I have a Santa we can put on here. Let me get a little closer so you can see. A Santa, or I have a bear. Which one do we want to do? Here, y'all? Y'all get to pick. Santa or bear? We want Santa or bear. You like the Santa? The Santa's cute. And he's a quilted Santa. If you look at him, he's all quilted. So, all right. We're going Santa. We've got a few bears. We'll do bears next time. Okay, so we're going to center him in here. We're going to center him in here. I'm excited. He's cute. He is cute. I have not done anything with him yet. So this is a DTF transfer. So with the DTF transfers, you just take and you put them on there and they don't come off, y'all. They do not come off. So I'm going to center him in here. Center him there. Press this down. Take him off. And then I need a piece of fabric. So you put a piece of fabric over it just to set him in. You don't want to iron directly on that transfer, because if you iron directly on the transfer, it'll melt right onto your iron. So be careful with that. Turn that off. Okay. So, oh my gosh, how exciting is that? How exciting is that? Is that cool? Very cool. Very cool. All right. So now what we're going to do is we need some batting. So we need to get a piece of batting. I've got batting over here. So I'm going to move y'all over just a little bit. See, this is a nice thing about having quilt squares already pre-made. We can have fun with quilt squares. So I'm going to grab batting that I have right here. Smaller piece of batting. So what we're going to do is we're going to quilt this. So I'm going to take this. We're going to cut a piece of batting. And I go bigger on the batting, guys. I go bigger on the batting and the backing. That way it allows you to quilt all the way to the edge. Because if you don't have extra batting on the outside, you can't quilt to the edge. But I end up using the extra batting that I have around the outside for my mug rugs and stuff. You end up using it. Y'all, I promise you, you'll use it. You will use it. So all that extra on the outside, I use for mug rugs. Because even if it's not big enough, you can actually do, let's see, that. Guess we could do that on the back. We're going to put flannel on the back. How about some flannel? It's a Christmas theme. Frankenstein batting, right? Yes, absolutely. It works. Use up all your batting, y'all. Minky is your nemesis. Minky can be hard to work with. Can be hard to work with, y'all. So, okay. So I'm going to trim that here. It's almost Christmas time, and I haven't even used this fabric, so I have a pile over here. So we're going to trim down this side. I should have found a Christmas theme quilting thing, but that's okay. It is okay. Okay. So when you're sandwiching that quilt on the bottom, so you want the right side down. My space here, guys. My space is taken up. So you want right sides down. I'm going to move my coffee. That way we don't put the coffee in there. So we're going to have right sides down here. And I'm going to take the batting and the top. And I use extra of the backing and the batting. That way you can hoop to the edge, and I'll show you here what I'm talking about. Okay. So now we have this, okay? So now we need our piece of stabilizer. Let me move y'all back over here so you can see. Move you this way. Okay. So here we have our stabilizer, and here comes in the top, because if you look at the back, it's like, oh, that's backwards. We don't want it that way. We want it this way. So I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to okay, because I want it quilted to the edge. So So I'm going to come up here. I'm like, okay, I want it right there. Okay. So I want it right there. With that right there, I'm going to take the back of this hoop. I'm going to loosen you up there. And I'm going to put him behind here. I'm going to put it behind here. And I'm going to move that back up there because I want it right there. I want it right there. So I'm going to move that hoop. You kind of move it around. You put that here, and that template just goes right in there. You need to go up some. Thinking we may have to right there. But we're going to have to loosen that hoop some more. Loosen the hoop some more. Okay. So again, it's going right there in the corner. Right there in the corner. Go in there. See, this is where magnetic hoops come into play, y'all. Magnetic hoops. Okay, so we have that in there, and it's a little off. So we're going to come down a little bit. Come down a little bit. Okay, so let me tighten that up, and I'll show y'all. So let me turn you guys back this way. Oh, I'm going to turn you back this way. I probably should plug it. We're okay. So on here, I wanted it right there in the corner. So with it right there in the corner, you can see why I added the extra. This is why I added the extra, and my thing dropped. We'll grab it. But that way I can quilt all the way to the corner of this. So now we're going to go over here. We will run this stitch. And what color do we want on here? We don't want the browns. We don't want the brown in there. Let's see. Hold on. I can see. We want a fun color, right? We want a fun color in there. Do we want... We could do red. We could do a red I have some fun red variegated. How about some red variegated? That would be kind of fun, right? Reds. Yeah. I'm thinking this would be fun. Okay. Red it is. We're going red, y'all. Okay. So I'll put that there. All right. Let's go back to the other machine. So I'm going to turn y'all this way. Turn you this way. That way I can get by. Ow. And I'm going to pick up this. So this will stay over here because means we don't have the magnetic hoop. We have this one. We're going to have to come back and forth. We'll have to come back and forth. So I'm going to put this. Hold on, guys. Let me get it hooped and I'll turn you guys. I'm just going to put it in the machine right quick. Okay. So get you guys back over this way. Maybe I'll come this way. Maybe I'll come that way. Is that better? I think that's better. Okay. So, stay there. So I'm going to fold this way. That way it doesn't get bunched on the bottom. And we're going to actually, we need to thread this machine. Thread. Automatic threaders, y'all. Game changer. Automatic threaders, magnetic hoops, all the above. Okay, so first hooping, we're going to go ahead. We're going to make sure that we don't have the backing in there. We're good with the backing. Okay, so we're good. So let's go ahead and run this first stitching. And then once we get the first stitching done, we'll go back over to the table and we'll hoop our next one. And this is where that edge to edge comes into play, y'all. So we're going to drop that foot. And we're going to go ahead and start stitching. And it's not stitching. Oh, wait. There we go. Okay. I was like, it wasn't stitching, but it was stitching. Ooh, the red variegated is pretty on that blue. That red variegated is really pretty. And this stitch, it only takes a minute to stitch this one out. Only takes a minute to stitch this one out. So, and my thread broke. Ah! My thread broke. So this is a good thing because I'll show y'all. So we're going to thread that one and then we're going to go backwards. We're going to take and go backwards to where it broke. A little further. Okay, right there. Drop that foot. Tell you, embroidery machines, y'all. Okay. So that one's done. Now we got to unhoop and come back. Unhoop and come back. So, and y'all, we're doing this with a 4-inch hoop. A 4-inch hoop. So we're coming back over here. And I'll show you how to go to your next one. How to go to your next one. And granted, you wouldn't want to do a king size quilt with a 4-inch hoop. You wouldn't want to do a king size quilt with a 4-inch hoop, y'all. So now we have it in there. We have it hooped. We're going to unhoop that. We're going to unhoop that. So, but we want to go to the next. I'm going to trim that. Where's my scissors? Trim that off there. Okay. So we're going to trim that. So we have that stitched out really pretty. It's stitched out really pretty on there. So now what we want to do is we want to go to that next portion. So you take this, and again, you have your template. Good morning, good morning. So I'm going to line that up exactly where I want it here. Exactly where I want it. Right there. And now I'm going to take that hoop on the back. So I'm going to put it back there. Go up a little bit. And you're just centering it right in the hoop. And then that way, when it gets hooped there, you know, that's exactly where it's going to go. Y'all, I'm used to magnetic hoops. I am used to magnetic hoops. That's off. That is off. We need to go up some. We need to go up some. Stay in there. Stay in there. Okay. All right. So we got that hooped. We got that hooped. Tell you, takes when you get used to those magnetic hoops and you don't use these other ones. Okay. So now we'll go back. Now we'll go back. Can you make a video on how to make it to? Absolutely, Cindy. Absolutely. I can do that. You have a 9x14 magnetic. Marnie, those are awesome. Those are awesome. Yeah, I can create a video on that. I did a video yesterday on how to do binding. So that worked out. Actually, we're going to move y'all this way because I think that worked better. We'll do that video on creating that template. So what we've done, as you can see, you see that we have it hooped and you have it part of it in there. You're like, oh my gosh, wait, it's going to stitch on top of that, but it's not going to stitch on top of that. So because we just had that template in there, and we know exactly where it's going to stitch. So we're going to take that, hoop that in there, put that there. Make sure that we don't have the backing fabric underneath. Drop that, and we're going to go ahead and run that stitch. Going to go ahead and run that stitch. And it just started where it left off. It just started where it left off. I went a little bit over that way, but it's okay. It's okay. It's still okay. And it'll just continue on, and then we'll move it. And then we'll move it over. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, I like donuts. I want a donut, y'all. Donuts sound good. Donuts sound good. Thank you. I said this one will stitch out, and then we'll just keep going. We'll just keep going down the side here. So does the hoop size need to match the design side? Yes. Yes. So especially, well, on your smaller ones. You can have bigger hoops with smaller designs in it, but like with this 4x4 hoop, you need to make sure that your design is small enough for that hoop, because you can't load a bigger design into a smaller hoop. It'll tell you when you put it into the machine, it'll tell you that that your hoop is too small. It'll tell you that your hoop is too small. So you'll have to go to a hot cocoa. I want some hot cocoa. That one's a Quattro 2. That one's a Quattro 2. I've got 3 machines in here right now. So, okay, so we're going to unhoop that one. I'm going to loosen that up just a little bit so it's not so hard. Okay. So we have now stitched 2 of those. We have now stitched 2 of those. So we're just going to keep moving down. We're just going to keep moving down this thing. Keep them moving down. So I'm going to grab my template. Where'd my template go? There's my template. So we're going to grab that template and you just line it up here. And then set it right over that hoop there. Line it up. We need to move that way some. Let's go up some, over some. Okay, so there it's lined up, and then you take your template out, and then you load it back in the machine again. Thank you, thank you. You guys are awesome. Oh my gosh, yum. I want some cake. Cake sounds good. Yum. Thank you, thank you. I think you would have to use a bigger design for my big hoop yesterday. So yeah, so your bigger hoops, you have bigger designs. You have bigger designs. And when you get your designs, the companies that have the designs, they have all kinds of different sizes and they're available for you to be able to use in those in there. So all kinds of different ones in there. So let's keep going. Let's keep going, y'all. We're going to see how many, we still got a half hour. We might be able to stitch all this in a half hour, y'all. So we're going to keep going here. How do you like doing the templates in the hoop? How do y'all like doing templates in the hoop? Okay, so we're going to load this one in here. And y'all, you can change you don't have to keep using the same design on whatever you're working on. So I did one time. So I had a quilt that I made with a layer cake. So I had a quilt that I made with the layer cake, and each square I quilted something different into each square. So it worked out really, really well. So you just kind of line it up, and when you line it up, it just keeps stitching. Keep stitching there. So, and it makes it so cool, you know, because you see all those big people with the long arms and stuff. Definitely a game changer, right? It is totally a game changer. It's a lot of fun. It is completely a lot of fun. So, like I said, with the smaller ones, you want to do your smaller projects. You'd want to do the smaller projects in there. But I would do up to a baby quilt. I've done a baby quilt with a 4x4 hoop. Yes, you should try it. You should totally try this. It is fun. It is so much fun. And like I said, I've done a baby quilt with a 4x4 hoop. Is about as big as I went. But I mean, you're welcome to do a king size quilt. It's just, you're going to take days. You're going to take days on the king size quilt. So, because king size is there's a lot of area in a king size. So, y'all, look how this stitches out. Look how this is stitching out. How cool is that? And it just continues going. It just continues going on there. Continues going. It's kind of cool. Kind of cool. You really can't see the back. The back is just, you really can't see it. So, did you look into skipping over an embroidery piece part, but quilting around it? I did not. I have not had time to do that yet, but it's on my to-do. It is on my to-do. My magnetic hoop was sticking to everything yesterday when I tried to move. Oh no. I wonder why. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we got, I think, probably one more hooping. Yep, one more hooping on this side, and then we'll move down to the next row. This is going to be perfect. Oh my gosh, this is exciting, y'all. This is super, super exciting. We're going to put you in the center there. Just make sure that your words on there are right side out, because if you embroider, you hoop this with the template the wrong way, then your design is not going to go where you want it to go. Your design won't go where you want it to go. I'll tell you, this is... Yep, I like the magnetic hoop, y'all. Magnetic hoop. Magnetic hoop. Okay. All right. Back over here. Back over here. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. Okay. Coming back this way. I'm getting my workout this morning, Nikki. I'm getting my workout moving the laptop back and forth. Moving the laptop back and forth. Okay. There's that one. And y'all, we'll finish a roll. This is going to be a whole roll that we've got done. So this is kind of cool. Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much. We're at 21K taps this morning. That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all the taps. I appreciate it. Over here on YT too. You guys are awesome. I appreciate all y'all. I appreciate all y'all. Y'all have to send me some pictures of the things you quilt. I'd love to see what you're able to quilt in the hoop. I'd love to see what you're able to quilt in the hoop, because so many different things that you can quilt. So many different things. And thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow. Tomorrow, y'all. Tomorrow we're going to be doing quilting jean. So I told my husband, I'm like, hey, I'm going to steal a pair of your pants and we're going to quilt some jean tomorrow, because quilting on blue jeans, it looks really cool. You see how quick this is going? It takes literally a minute to stitch this. Not even literally a minute. I mean, it just stitches so quickly. So we already have a row done. We're going to move down to that next row. We'll move down to the next row on there. Move y'all back this way. Y'all just keep moving. We're just keeping moving. Moving here. Is that potato on top of your machine? So one of my great nieces said that she made me a pin cushion, and I couldn't help but put it up on there. So she was the sweetest thing. She came up with this idea and decided that she was going to make me a pin cushion. So I couldn't help but put it up on the top of my machine. So it's a little pin cushion that my great niece made for me. So how sweet is that, right? Isn't that the sweetest thing? So my little, it's my little one that says hi. So oh, you don't have to say sorry. You're good. You can ask all you want. You are good, right? It is cool. It is cool. Okay. So we have a row done. We have a whole row done. Y'all, check it out. We have a whole row. So now let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. This is going to be like I don't know what this is going to be. I don't know. It'll be something. Okay. So we're going to move over this way. We're going to take this and we're going to go right here, right below that top one. Put you there. Move you over here. I think right there works out. Okay. Yay. That one hooped. I loosened it up some, so it went in there a little easier. And y'all, you can see, you see how that just goes in there, and you see exactly where it's going to line out. See exactly where it's going to line out. So that is how your template works. And you make sure that you have it in there. Once you have it in there, you take the template out and then you go and stitch it. This is what I ask. What machines do you recommend? Sorry if you're already, you don't have to be sorry. If you're going to embroidery, my recommendation for embroidery is always Brother. My recommendation is always Brother, because Brother has the top. I don't know. They have the top of the line on there. Could you do a king size quilt one block at a time with a 4? You can, Shannon. You can totally do a king size quilt. It's gonna take you some time. It'll take you some time, but you totally can. You totally can. Good morning, Christy. How are you? How are you? What size hoop did you get for the magnetic? Oh, Cynthia's asking somebody else. Good. I'm going back this way. Back this way. We're going to keep stitching. We're going to keep stitching. We're going to see how many we can get done. See how many we can get done here. That one going. That one going. We're going to do that next row. Is that transfer? It is. It is a transfer. So that is a Santa. It's a quilted Santa. It's kind of cool. It's a quilted Santa. I like the one block at a time versus the whole quilt. Jennifer, I do too. I kind of like this. So, like I said, I was a long armor. I used to long arm all the time, but when I moved into this small area, I still wanted to quilt. And I had my long arm in here. But needless to say, I took and downsized. That way I could have my other stuff in here. So, and I love quilting in the hoop. I love quilting in the hoop. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, y'all. And it just stitches out. It's so cool. This just stitches out so cool. To save time, I'm going to go and hoop this right quick and come back, because I'm running out of time here, y'all. Running out of time. And I don't have time to, I have to, so I'm actually making a lasagna this morning for work, because I'm catering the Christmas party. We're doing the Christmas party for my team, and as my appreciation to my team, I have decided that I would do a lasagna, homemade rolls for them. So needless to say, so I'm going to hoop and come this way. We're going to see if we can finish this. So because you just take that template, you just keep moving. Just keep it moving. Hopefully you guys are okay with just staying over here, because that way we can keep stitching. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I'm going to eat all those homemade rolls, Tyler. They're all on the pan rising. They are all on the pan rising. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. That's a goal you have as a long arm. I loved my long arm. Look into the Kanique, Jennifer. Thank you, Kelly. Thanks for the follows. Y'all. I appreciate y'all. All right, I'm gonna start heading. Tyler, you be safe, please. Drive safe. Promise me you're gonna drive safe. So all my guys that work for me, they're like my kids. Everybody's like my kids, and I love all of them. If you take and think about it, you spend more time at work than you do at home sometimes. So they all become my family. Good morning, Lori. Good morning. So today we'll take you back over there. We'll take you back over to the hoop, or to the table. We created a template this morning. We're going to go back this way. We created a template this morning, and with that template, so here is the template that we created. And then with that template, we are able to quilt in the hoop. So I'm going to go that one there. And y'all, this is, oh my gosh, The stitching on the Santa is just phenomenal. The stitching on the Santa is phenomenal. I'm like, where did my start go? Where did my start go? There's my start right there. Okay, so we're going to move you here. Once you do it a few times, you get to the point you're like, okay, right there is where I need to go. So you kind of try and center that in your hoop because that's your template, and it's going to go exactly where you put it, and it's kind of crooked, so we need to go not so crooked. Pop that in the hoop. Pop that in the hoop, and we're a little off. We are a little off. We need to come this way some. Come this way some. Sorry if I'm missing your question, guys. Sorry if I'm missing your question. I'll tell you, this can be tedious. This can be tedious. But once you get going on it, you kind of figure it out. You kind of figure it out. So, okay, back over this way. Back over this way. Thank you for taking the time to show the process. And oh, you're very welcome. You are very welcome. I like to help y'all out. I like to help y'all out. That's like my total goal in life, just to help people out. And whatever you want to learn, I like to teach. I love teaching. Some days I think I should have been a teacher, but you know, like, yeah, I like my IT job too. I like my IT job too. So, does your machine read your template, or how does that work? I'm here for the start. So no. So what happens is you take and you hoop like a clear stabilizer into your hoop. You take and stitch out that clear tape stabilizer on there. So, and then once you do that, and then you take and you lay that template on top of your fabric, and then you load it into the hoop with that template on top of your fabric, because that template is exactly where that's going to stitch out. So that's kind of how it works. I can teach kids, but not adults. I like to have fun with both. Have you ever looked at the Cutie Quilter? They say it works with the Luminaire. It will not work. I don't think it will. Because I actually have the Cutie Quilter, and it's made of hold on, so the Cutie Quilter, you need like a smaller machine on those Cutie Quilter. The Jukies work really well, but because the width of your machine is too wide, it won't sit on there. So does your design have a start line and a end line? Yes, this one does. It does. Let me show you that here. Move you guys back over this way. I'll show you on that design. So on here, in here, so you see right there, this right, where are we at? So this right there, that is your start and stop side. That is the start and stop side right here. Your start and stop. So you line up the next one with that. You'll line that next one up with that. To do embroidery while where you stopped. Yeah, that is where you do the start and stop. So we got one more hooping on this side. One more hooping on this side. We're a little off on here, but it's all right because we'll just trim it off around the edge. We'll just trim it off around the edge here. But this is why I have extra fabric on the side. So I have extra fabric on the side, on all sides, y'all. Man, we've been talking about food. I'm hungry. I was hungry. Okay, so now we'll go hoop. But as you can see, so thank you. So on the side, you see, this is why I add extra. This is why I add extra backing and batting onto the side. Work. Come on, wake up. I want to make sure nothing wrong with work here. Oh. Somebody's headed the other way. All right. So, all right. Carrie, is this just one block for a quilt that you're putting together? So, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to turn it into something. I'll turn it into something. It was just a quilt square that I had left over when I showed y'all how to do the X blocks. So this is just a quilt square for, I don't know, maybe put it as a centerpiece or so. I don't know. We'll do something with it. So, because what I'll do is once I get it done quilting, we'll put a binding around it, and then it'll be for something. So, but anyway, so I leave the edging. I leave this. I add extra batting and on the side, and then that way we can also stitch off to the side. So let's keep going. Let's keep going because we'll have one more row probably. A new bag. Yeah, it could possibly be a bag because you could do a quilted handbag, but it'd be a Christmas theme. Only good for Christmas time. Well, it's only going to be good for Christmas time period anyways. I don't know. We'll figure it out, Cynthia. We'll figure that one out. We'll have fun with it. Okay, so we'll stitch this one. I gotta be careful on this because you have that fabric there, so you want to make sure that it doesn't stitch on there. So when it comes down this way and it gets to the edge of the fabric, you have to be careful because it'll go and grab. When it comes back that way, it'll actually grab that fabric and fold it up. Sometimes I put tape on there, but because I'm kind of in a hurry, I'm not doing the tape. So, okay. So then we'll go to the next row. We got one more row. One more row, y'all. What time is it? What time is it? 6:30. We're going to do a couple more. We're going to see if we can finish this. I'm just going to hoop this right quick, y'all. I'm going to hoop it right quick. That way we can finish it. It's going to be pretty, though. It's going to be really pretty. On to the last row. On to the last row. And we need to rethread. I just thought it was on to the last row. What kind of tape do you use? Medical tape. Medical tape. It's just fabric medical tape is what I use. Somebody yesterday, a pillow, yes. Somebody yesterday said blue painter's tape. So blue painter's tape, medical tape, all kinds of different things that you can use. So, but they have tape that is specifically made for embroidery, but y'all, the price of it is crazy. So you find all these other things that you can use, and I find that the paper medical tape works out really well. And y'all, it's like a couple bucks for 2 rows. So, and I end up using a lot of tape. So my medical tape gummed up my needle. I'll try the, oh. So we're going to take, I don't know if we're going to see. I don't think I can. No, I was going to say, I was going to try and do it in the hoop, but I do it in the hoop on my luminaire, but I use that magnetic hoop. I use the magnetic hoop on it. So. Couple more hoopins. Yeah, I think I'm going to try some of that blue painter's tape too. I think I'm with you because they were telling me that the blue painter's tape doesn't gum. I don't have an embroidery machine. Would it be easier to use a hoop to quilt a queen size together? In the sewing machine? Or are you thinking about getting an embroidery machine? If you don't have an embroidery machine, I'm going to give you a recommendation. My recommendation is how I started quilting for free motion. Search John Flynn quilting frame. So it comes with big enough to do a baby quilt. Very reasonable. Because my husband went and cut me longer poles for it. And y'all, it's easy. It is so easy to do the John Flynn. So I like the John Flynn. I'm going to have to quilt in between a row here. I'm going to have to hand quilt in between a row because I kind of messed up, but that's okay. It's okay. We were seeing what we were doing here. We're good. But yeah, they have them. They had them on A. But John Flynn, y'all. John Flynn quilting frame. If you don't have, you just need pretty much any machine will work for that. Any machine, as long as you can drop your feed dog down, pretty much any machine will work for the John Flynn. So you've never used it? Oh my gosh, Shannon. I wish I could show you. I don't have mine anymore because I gifted mine out. But my husband cut me 10-foot poles to do king size quilts, and I use that thing so much. I used it all the time. So check John Flynn. The videos. I mean, check your videos out. It is the easiest thing in the world. Can you show how to put a zipper on a purse? Absolutely, Kimberly. Absolutely. What do we have next week? Hold on. Let me see next week. That was this week. Where's next week? So next week, what are we doing? So this week, tomorrow we're gonna quilt on jeans. Thursday we're gonna do 2 sweatshirts. We're gonna cut 2 sweatshirts in half, and then Friday we're doing freestanding lace. Next week we're doing serger on Monday, abstract koozie on Tuesday, t-shirt placement on Wednesday. Thursday we're gonna learn how to clean your machine. And Friday, we're going to do stockings. So the following week, if you'd like, we can do a zipper bag. You can go check out my YT. I do have a couple videos in there on doing zippers. So I'm going to have to give it a second look. When I first got it, it wasn't into quilting as much. Shannon, if you have questions, shoot me a message. I'll help you out. One more hooping, y'all. We got one more hooping. We'll be done. One more hooping. I'm going to have to do some free motion in the middle because I missed a little bit of a row. I was lining it up on the bottom instead of at that row, but that's okay. Weak and free motion. Weak and free motion. I may have to give this to the neighbor lady. She is totally into Christmas over here. Her site is all decked out and it's so gorgeous. I told her, I was like, I'm living vicariously through you. Living vicariously through you for all the Christmas decorations. Okay. Last hooping, y'all. Last hooping. So you can pretty much do any size quilt you want. You can do any size quilt you want. Depending on how big it is how long it's going to take you. So somebody was asking about doing a king size. You can. It's just going to have a buttload of hoopings. A buttload of hoopings there. So, but it works. It works. So, oops. Oh, no, it wasn't. I thought it was unthreaded. I was like, it's unthreaded, but it's not unthreaded. It's okay. I can put a zipper in it. It's getting the pull that it's struggle with it. You know, zippers are my nightmare. Zippers are my nightmare. That's why, y'all, the other day, what was it? Yesterday, we did zipper bags in the hoop. If you have an embroidery machine, watch yesterday's because yesterday's, I'll show you as soon as we come back over here. I'll show you what we did yesterday. Finished. Okay. So we'll pull that out and then we'll come back over there. Come back this way. Come back this way. Thanks for hanging out today, y'all. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Okay. So this got all quilted, y'all. So this is officially all quilted. How cool is that? How cool is that? Is that not cool? How fun. I mean, it's fun. So we did this with a 4x4 hoop. We did that one with a 4x4 hoop. Then we did this one. We did an 8x8 hoop on this one. So, you know, it's endless. It's endless on what you can do. Thank you, Paula. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yesterday, if you want to watch yesterday's live, it's over on YT. We did zipper bags in the hoop. So lots of fun. So anyways, tomorrow we're going to be quilting on jeans. So we're going to have some fun with that. Come hang out tomorrow if you want to see the jeans, how we're going to do the jeans. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do yet, but I told my husband I'm still in a pair of his pants to cut up. He doesn't wear jeans anymore. He wears the cargo pants. So you are very welcome, Sharon. You are very welcome. I'm here to help you guys. If you have something that you want to learn, let me know. We can do a live on it. We'll just put it on the schedule. So we're already a week and a half out. So it'll have to continue on. So thank you for the pics. Yes, send pictures. I'd love to see what y'all are working on. So anyways, I got to get to cooking. I'm making homemade lasagna, homemade rolls. The rolls are already rising, so they should be good to pop in the oven with that. So thanks for the follows. And then homemade rolls, and then I think I'm gonna make some toffee too. Yesterday I made some apple cider caramel bites. Oh my gosh, y'all, the apple cider caramel bites are phenomenal. They are phenomenal. And there's a hint of cinnamon in there too. You add a hint of cinnamon. Oh my God. Yummy. Anyways. And then, so, I'll take some pictures and post so that that way y'all can see exactly what I've made for the day. So again, thank y'all for hanging out with me. I greatly appreciate y'all hanging out with me and chatting with me. So, I can share that to you, Miss Deb. So yes, I will post pictures. I will definitely post pictures. So it's going to be yummy. So, anyways, y'all have a good day. I will see y'all tomorrow morning, and happy Tuesday again to y'all. And thanks again. Love y'all. Bye, guys.